I said, praise the Lord, church. I'm going to start with Genesis chapter 25 and verse number 29. In the Bible, there's a story that tells us that God was not in the earthquake and He was not in the fire, but He was in the still small voice. Pray with me and pray for me that He'll be in this still small voice tonight. Genesis chapter 25 and verse number 29, it tells us, "And Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright." You may be seated. Before I get too much further into this, I want to let you know I'm very grateful for the leadership of this church. People who never give up on me. We give gratitude and thanks to Pastor and his wife and Pastor Bembry and Sister Bembry. I don't know if it's because the type of person I am or if it's what's going on out in society, but for whatever reason, when I was asked to speak tonight, God began to speak to me in the form of a comic book character. And his story is very similar to Jacob and Esau here. See, this comic book superhero, well, some call him a superhero, some call him an anti-villain. Thing is, he's not an alien. He can't fly. Sorry, not Superman tonight. Not super wealthy, doesn't have any cool gadgets, not Iron Man, not Batman, none of those kind of guys. This guy, he received his power in his weakest moment, doing one of the dumbest things he could ever do. See, his father was about to die. So the character known as Ghost Rider sold his soul to the devil to save his father. Similar to Esau selling his birthright to Jacob. For what? A little bit of food. I'm willing to bet he was on his dad's property, probably not far from the house. If he'd have just gone inside, Mom would have probably gave him food too, and he wouldn't have had to do that. But the thing is, we take that mindset that, you know what, in the spirit of self-preservation, I must push through. I must make this decision, and we make the dumbest decisions we ever could. And I'm not sitting here trying to point the finger at you. You see the finger going, I got 3 pointing back at me. I'm talking about decisions I made that I thought were right. But they ended up being some of the dumbest stuff I've ever done. You say, Brother Myers, why is that? Well, Proverbs 12 and 15 tells us the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. Proverbs 15 and 22 tells us that without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors they are established. You see, just a simple little push, another little question, finding another friend. What can I do about this? Saves us from everything. If we just seek after God and God's people, we can save ourselves from a whole lot of trouble. Part of our problem is we think we're alone. We think the situation is mine and mine alone. But there is nothing new under the sun. That means there's no new problems. That means somebody made it out somewhere going through the same thing I am. All I got to do is ask a couple people, what do I got to do? How do I fix my car? What do I do over here? Using the example of a car, there are a couple people here that they know a little something about cars, but if you're starting to ask questions, at some point, if you're asking a bunch of people, at some point, you're going to find your way talking to people like Brother Hines or Brother Carpenter. And you say, well, I know something about cars, but they get paid to work on cars. There are people who get paid to fix your problems. Think about it. All you got to do is ask the right person the right question. Look, church, I feel like, I really feel like we're on the verge of something. And if we're not careful, we're going to make the wrong decision for all the right reasons. It's going to be the worst thing we ever do. But the thing is, all we got to do is ask my friend. Because we are not alone. Be blessed, church.
Relax, relax. Not singing. I'm not selling anything. I love what God did for us this weekend at Ladies' Conference. And